We live? This thing on? Testing, testing.
Yes.
Is that getting old yet?
Nope.
Uh,
It's been old. It's already been old.
Oh, well, just like me. So you had another swingers weekend up in Vermont.
Jeez. You know what I'm starting to think this is? You're starting to tell me that you want to get it on the act.
Yeah, I do. Because that's
We're the Miller style too, of course.
Because hanging out with more people is what I want.
Yes, exactly. It's quite shocking actually that you have two podcasts, but that just goes to show you just like talking to Billy and me, and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Whereabouts in Vermont were you?
We were in Stowe, which
is Stowe, very nice.
Yes,
very
amazing.
Nice.
Anybody I talked to that likes skiing was like kind of jealous. So it was a good first place to start.
And you went to Ben and Jerry's, I saw.
Yes, we did.
Did you do the tour?
We didn't do the tour. No, we were exhausted after the weekend. We just wanted to get some ice cream, check out the graveyard, and head back.
Do the tour. They give you a little free scoop.
Oh, they do? Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
the tour itself is, whatever. It's nothing. It's nothing special.
You are truly a man of the northeast. You're like what is it? A shirtless bear fighter?
Well, I am a shirtless bear fighter, especially in P-Town.
It's true.
I was there during Bear Week. I found out firsthand just how tasty I appear to be.
Happy for you.
But no, yeah, having a child and we go camping every summer, and so there's a site up in Burlington that we go to that we like, and we always make time to stop by Ben and Jerry's, and we do the dump tour every time. But Violet likes the free scoop ice cream, at the end, and then of course she likes the gift shop. We will actually, I think, instead of camping in Burlington this year, I believe we're camping in Stowe.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, and there's some great breweries, in that neck of the woods, and Stowe is a little bit less of a drive than it all is all the way up into Burlington. I prefer Burlington, to be honest with you, but we're gonna try something new. But anyways, that is enough about our swinging ways, Nicholas. We have a comic book podcast to talk about.
What?
I talk about a comic book podcast. I was trying to transition to the Pineapple Boys and make a swinging joke. Didn't work out.
It worked out for me.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said cock.
Oh, well, we do have it's a lot of cock talk.
Yes.
Cock
there you go.
Talk
So much for not swearing in the first few minutes. Good job.
Yeah. Oh, geez. I should probably get it on with the intro, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages. I maybe should drop the all now and make this an adult podcast. Geeks Worldwide Radio and the Dork Shared Gooniverse proudly presents to you the greatest, and I mean the greatest and the naughtiest podcasting team in the world. He's the Fry guy, Nick Friar. I am your friendly, naughty neighborhood backcracker, Dr. Joe, and together we are the TLDR Comic Book Club, baby.
Woo!
Gotta lean into it, Nicholas. Lean into it.
Very, very much well done, sir. And for those who are new to the show, if you haven't caught it already, make sure you listen to our Friarside chat with John Lees and Alex Cormack, the Sync Boys. We told you guys about that last time we convened. The only place you can find that interview and any interviews that we've done in the past, any interviews that may or may not happen in the future, are going to be on our audio channel. So that's Apple, Spotify, Geeks Worldwide Radio, SoundCloud, what am I blanking on here? Pocket Cast, Amazon, all the major podcasting platforms. You can find us there. If for some reason you can't, you can slide into our DMs. Let us know. We'll make sure we get that taken care of. But we should be good. Again, that's the Friarside chats are conversations with creators across the industry. It's the only place you're going to be able to hear those. But if you like watching us here and there too, you can also continue to follow us on our streaming. But recommend you having us both there if you enjoy watching us, because the only place you can get the conversations with the people you're reading their work or taking in their art is going to be on our audio channels. But enough of that, Joe. We have a solicit. We didn't do one for February because we just had an onslaught of interviews. Or was that it?
We got busy. Yeah.
That's what it was. I don't know. It's all a blur to me. I don't even know, because thinking about other interviews that we may or may not have coming up too, is just keeping everything straight. But yeah, so we got a solicit for March. And again, for those that are new, that just means that Joe and I are going to do what's new as we usually do. And then we're going to go through all of the books that are coming out throughout the month of March. So that way you guys have a little bit of a checklist to refer back to week. And hey, if you don't want to wait till Wednesday for the audio to drop to find out what's coming out in the second week of March, or in this case, the first week of March, you have this to listen to. So it's something that you can listen to now, refer back to later. And as always, just want to note, right? We don't note this enough, and I want to make it clear now after what you and I were talking about before the show.
Cock?
No. Get your head out of the gutter. We are using all the books that we're listing off today.
Oh.
We're using League of Comic Geeks to create our list. I just want you to let everybody know that other than the books that are coming out this week, that's what we're going based off of. So if there's any changes, because it does happen with printing, just be aware that can happen, whether it's information that we're not getting correctly or just printing issues that tend to pop up. It doesn't seem to happen as much anymore. But anyways, enough about that, Joe. You ready to get to catching up?
Yeah, don't blame me, blame Friar. That's the motto of this show. Catching up. I had there was a lot of catching up I wanted to do. And I feel like I read more than what I have listed here, but these
I
are
hate when that happens.
right. But I have the couple that I read here was The Hunger in the Dusk issue 5. I fell behind. I'm 2 issues back on that one. Excellent series. Can't wait to talk about it on the show. Issue 6 came out a week or two ago. What's happening here is I'm finding out that books that would normally be in at Newbury Comics haven't been in. So that happened with Hunger in the Dusk. I had to buy them digitally. It's happened with the book that you're going to be talking about. So it's important that you throw books on your pull list, people, because that's how you can fall behind on series. But The Hunger and the Dusk issue 5, and then Avengers Twilight issue 2, which I will discuss in a little bit more detail coming up. I know there's a couple of the books I read. I think Ghost Rider. I missed the last issue of Ghost Rider, so I caught up on that. Excellent. You'll be hearing us talk about some fun stuff coming up with Ghost Rider soon. But what do you have there, Nicholas?
So I have Transformers issue 5, which we do not get review copies for that. Otherwise, we'd be talking about that every what's new. So we can't really cover that here, but really loving that series.
So funny thing about that. So when the Corona King was out, I decided to treat myself. I bought the Optimus Prime Transformer Lego.
That's right.
Right. And that week is when Transformers issue 5 came out. Now, the cover I bought is a badass cover, and it's got Optimus, and it looks like, there's like a barrel of some sort of cannon pointing at him. Well, I was excited. It was like the Lego set had come in, or I bought it, and it was New Comic Book Day, so I sort of put the cover of the comic book on the box, took a picture, and tweeted Daniel Warren Johnson, and he retweeted it, which was great. And but what I didn't do this on purpose. I wish I could admit that I did do this on purpose, but I didn't. I just sort of put the comic on top of the box so that it just kind of looked neat. But the way I positioned it on the box made it look like Optimus Prime was carrying one hell of a schmenzer. And this got about 30,000 something views. They're the greatest thing I've ever tweeted, other than a clip of Violet quoting Chris Jericho, which he retweeted, and that got up there as well. But it elicited a lot of great comments, and I wish I could say I did it on purpose, but I didn't.
I don't know, man. Based on the way this show started, it sure sounds like you got something on the brain. If you've been doing
a real swordsman, apparently.
Apparently, speaking of swordsman, the other book that I caught up on was Zorro, Man of the Dead, issue 2, which is the book you were alluding to that you did not get your hands on quite yet.
They didn't have it. They had issue 1. They had many copies of issue 1, but that's again the importance of putting this stuff on your pull list, people, because I can't even find it on Comixology. So fuck.
Yeah, it's been
great, Bob.
I mean, we loved the first issue. The second issue was awesome as well. I'm loving what they're doing with Diego, with how he's he's like delusional, but at the same time he's still a badass too, and everybody else is all in on him now too, with like a few exceptions, people who are particularly close to him, as was alluded to in the first issue. But now it's like Zorro's here, so let's fucking go.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely some sort of trauma in Arrested Development
Yeah, a little bit.
going on there
Poor guy.
for sure. But yeah, I fucking love the first issue. So I got to dive into that. But with that said, we've got a heavy solicit this because not only do we have the entire month of March, but we still have this week in what's new for the last week of February
Yep,
to discuss, Nicholas. So we're not going to pull any fucking. We're going to get right to it. Okay, it's just
sounds good.
we're gonna dive in. So for the week of 2/28/24, which should be the last day of the month, but it is in fact a leap year, so we get one extra day of February, which is the last thing people want. We have the Amazing Spider-Man issue 44. We have Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 17. We have the Immortal Thor issue 7, the Invincible Iron Man issue 15, the Resurrection of Magneto issue 2. Got to read that one.
Mhm.
Dead X-Men issue 2. We have Carnage issue 4, Punisher issue 4, Spider-Punk Arms Race issue 1, Cable issue 2, Thrawn Alliances issue 2, White Widow issue 4, Giant Sized Fantastic Four issue 1, and Women of Marvel issue 1. And there's a couple of books from Marvel this week we'd like to discuss. Nicholas, you choose.
Yeah, so Wolverine issue 44, Benjamin Percy, Victor LaValle, Corey Smith, Oren Jr. So this is now the fourth issue of the
Yes.
Sabretooth
Mm-hmm.
War, and we've been praising it up and down, but like the thing is that I don't want to beat a dead horse, but at the same time, like I want to talk to you about it. Like this is one of those books too where we were talking about doing these one shots after our 100th mainline episode. This is like an arc of a character that I want to do that with, just because all the kills that we've had in here, that how the violence has been upped immensely. And one thing that's always been not always, but by and large been a thing with Wolverine is he looks cool and obviously the attitude and everything like that, but how much he actually gets to use his claws is always a bit of like there's always something that's left to be desired. And we've seen a ton of violence in this issue, but we've kind of seen Wolverine and those close to him more on the receiving end of it. And in this issue, there's still like there's this is definitely more of a transition type issue, but we still get to see quite a bit of action in this, and there's quite a bit from Wolverine, specifically like his claws getting put to good use. And it's just like this is perfect. This is satisfying. This is what I want from Wolverine. And right now, Joe, this is the best thing going from a big two comic. No questions asked.
Uh, I would say it's up there. I would say it's up there. That's for damn sure. Now, do we know how many parts this is going to be? Is this an
10.
entire arc? Oh,
10
10
issues.
parts.
Yes, 10 issues, but it's bi-weekly.
Right. Yeah, that's man. Think about that for a second. 4 issues in, right? And it's like it's already at 100 miles an hour, 200
Yep.
miles an hour with everything. And it just each issue, right, just keeps getting better and better. Now, this issue, I will say, is definitely a bit of a bridge issue, if you
Yes.
will,
Yes.
but there's still a lot of great stuff that happens, especially with Sabretooth, right? And uh this we get a little it started with the last issue, it continues this issue. We're seeing Wolverine, like usually we're used to just seeing Wolverine pissed off and angry, but we're getting a Wolverine that's not only pissed off and angry, but one that is like emotionally devastated, which is something that Percy's brought to this character throughout this 44 issue run, but not quite like what we've seen over the past couple issues. So um I can't speak highly enough of this. And as you said, it is hands down out of the big two, this is a top three story right now. But another book, Nicholas, that I think warrants to be in that conversation is Avengers Twilight.
Ooh.
This is written by Chip Zdarsky and with art by Daniel Acuna. And I read the first issue, absolutely loved it. As I mentioned in catching up, I read issue 2 so that I could, when it dropped this week, when we got the review copy, I could read it immediately. This is fantastic. You know, we're in the future. There's an event called H Day where essentially all the heroes were, you know, either wiped out or thrown in prison or decommissioned, if you will. And now we have this resistance, you know, the defenders, you know, led by an elderly Luke Cage and an elderly Steve Rogers, who had purged himself, you know, of the superhero serum, but has since decided to take it back. And now they're on this sort of
Mm.
recruiting. You know, he's on this recruiting mission, and what happens in this third issue, where we see Steve Rogers, the story that Chip is writing revolving around Iron Man is a little Ted Williams esque, if you will, if you're familiar with the with how Ted Williams died and what happened to his head.
Wow. Okay.
But his son and what's going on with his son and what Chip is writing here is absolutely fantastic. And Acuna's art is really gritty. Great action scenes, great, like especially in this issue. There's some epic panels of just of I wouldn't say violence, just great sort of cinematic type action that you see here. Um, this is this was one of my favorite books that I read this week.
People forget about that Ted Williams stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think I can't remember last time I thought about that.
right.
That's something.
Yeah, literally one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived, and his son was such a fucking scumbag. The fact that his head is frozen somewhere, right? That's how like his story comes to an end. You got to be fucking kidding me.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
I didn't know the sun part actually, so I got to read up a little bit more. But anyways, not to get too deep into baseball talk, despite Ryan Parrott's requests. DC Comics, we got Detective Comics 1082, which Joe is all over. Green Arrow issue 9, a series that I do need to catch up on. The Flash issue 6, Harley Quinn 37, Batman Brave and the Bold issue 10, The Penguin issue 7, Jay Garrick The Flash issue 5, Power Girl issue 6, and Amazon's Attack issue 5.
From Image, we have World Tree issue 8. I don't know. Did you get a chance to read this one yet,
I
Nicholas?
did. I
Yeah.
did. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I loved it because we got some important information in this issue that I think was what I loved about it too is it did one of those things where it's like if you're reading this or if you see this, I'm already dead,
Hmm.
which can be sort of a cliche kind of trope done, but it was done really well in this issue,
Yeah.
in this story. Duke issue 3, Radiant Black issues 28 and 28.5. The only reason why I hadn't read this because I need to go back and read 27 and 27 and
I
a
did too.
half.
Yes.
Monstrous issue 49, Ice Cream Man issue 38, Undiscovered Country 28. I feel like it's been a very long time since we last seen a book,
Hmm.
Undiscovered Country. Phantom Road issue 9, Jeff Lemire. This I can't believe how fast I flew through this issue. It was really good stuff. Reason why I'm not talking more about it is because I do want to do an entire issue on it, which you know I'll do a main line on that sometime soon. Edenwood issue 5, that of course is written by Tony Daniel. Hack Slash Back to School issue 3, Deep Cuts issue 5, Terror War issue 9, Siphon issue 4, and maybe just maybe the best book of the week, Nicholas, at least in my opinion, is New Burn issue 15.
Yeah, so damn good. It's by the way, real quick before I get into Newburn, Monstrous issue 49. I'm not fully caught up on Monstrous yet, but that is the book I intend to talk about on the show on here at some point. Just haven't been able to because just haven't been able to catch it up fully because obviously 48 issues prior to is a ton. But anyways, Newburn issue 15, obviously Chip Zdarsky, Jacob Phillips, and we're coming to the end of the Newburn story, which is tough to hear because just obviously you and I have fallen in love with the character. We fell in love with him the first issue that we read, and we were very lucky to. Wasn't it like the first 5 issues that we got before we had
Yeah,
Chip on the show? It was
yeah,
insane. Yeah, so it was just amazing to just so much with that character. Spend so much time with him right away, and we were very fortunate. And like, who knows what's going to happen at the end here? We like it could go. multiple different ways. But what we're seeing right now, this whole story has been an amazing game of chess. And we've talked about how like Newburn is kind of like prime Belichick in a way where he's gruff and kind of like can't be bothered, and B he's like playing Chinese checkers when everybody else is playing chess. He's just so next level. But now we've kind of seen him get challenged in a few different ways, and then now in this issue we get even more of a challenge. We like learn more about what exactly has gone on. There's been like breadcrumbs leading to this point. It's not like it came out of nowhere. But what I love is we're seeing other elite players in the field right now, and Newburn is doing the exact opposite of what Belichick did before he got the boot in New England. He's rising to the occasion and like handling everything, at least to this point. We'll see what happens in issue 16 because it could go like 5 different ways.
What I loved about this issue is that there's a character who you talk about breadcrumbs. This is a character that was introduced, I think, last arc, and we've seen bits and pieces of. But the reporter,
Mm-hmm.
and I love nothing more than when arrogant, smug characters who think that like they're the ones that are ahead of the game. They're the ones playing chess. It turns out they're the ones that are just fucking idiots. Like the
Mm-hmm.
smartest person in the room, if is never the smartest person in the room. And
Right.
we kind of what we get in this issue is we see sort of that character thinking that they're one upping everyone, and they're really not. And I love that. What I because I think the next issue is the last one, correct?
Yes.
Right. And so what I loved about this series was when it started, the potential was, and the way Chip talked about it was you could sort of read each individual book. It's its own sort of self-contained story. And there was like this minor thread of an arc woven through it. And what I had hoped for was that with this series, we would have gotten a lot more of that before it had wrapped up, right? He could have
Yeah.
gone 2-3 arcs of just individual Newburn detective mobs type stories.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he decided, okay, this is the story I'm going to tell. And so the last 2 arcs have been just sort of this overarching, story, with it coming to its end at issue 16. And I think Stillwater was 16 or 17 issues as well, right? Maybe 18,
Hmm.
something like that, right? Wasn't terrible. I mean, it's long in the sense that he's been writing it for over a year, of course, but this has been an absolutely brilliant and fantastic story. I hate to see it come to an end, but it looks like it's going to end on an absolutely high note, in the sense like going out on top, so to speak, and not like having something drag on, and oh shit, I gotta kind of end this, and maybe not ending it the way you want to end it. So Chip's always really done well with that when it comes to his books and his stories, like telling the story he wants to tell, and whether it's 16 issues or 40 issues or whatever, it feels right when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to an end. It's a satisfying conclusion, and I think, unfortunately, we're getting that with Newburn. I would have liked more, but
Yeah.
but
I
still,
agree with you. I would like more too. But to the note of him knowing how to end things, I mean, like I said, there are a few different ways that this could go, and like I don't have a lean of what I want necessarily. Like what like if it's good for Newburn, if it's bad for Newburn, or some of these other characters. I just like it all, as long as it makes sense. Like
mm,
I'm gonna enjoy that ride, and he's like set the stage where anything could happen, and that's the best going into a conclusion. It's just you have zero clue what's going on, but there's a lot of different ways that could make sense. So
yep,
it's been like we've said it many times. Like this is a must read series, and having it like 16 issues from a writing standpoint is a long time, especially today's day and age in comics. But at the same time, like you said, where you want more, this is a very accessible series for anybody
mm,
who has not given it a look. And if you've been listening to us for any length of time, why the fuck haven't you given it a look yet? This Newburn is next level stuff. But yeah, awesome stuff. And looks like I think next month is when it comes to an end. So
yeah.
gonna be sad about that. Maybe when if we see Chip at Chicago, you can give him what's for, because
No, I'll give him a
your
piece of my mind.
your chip.
No, I would
Um,
never. I would never dream of it.
Now, moving on to AWA this week. Big week for them because we got the finale of the Ribbon Queen issue 8. Of course, that is Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows, which is a terrifying tandem to say the least. And obviously, I don't want to get into spoilers. I don't want to go too far because I am going to talk about this at length on the show at some point down the line. But what I do want to say about the ending, I mean, the art's been crazy the whole series. It might even be like the number one reason that you read this story. I mean, and that there are times where that's the case in comics. There are times where it's not. Like there's writers that you love, and obviously Ennis is a writer that we both like quite a bit. But Jason Burrows is like absolutely banana land with everything that he does, and there's a lot of violence in this final issue, but the grisly ending, like this ending is grisly, and then you get this final page, Joe,
No.
that like I don't know if I should let you read that final page. Like, I'll just tell you what it is when you get there. Like, you can call me if it's 2 a.m. and be like, "What the fuck's the last page? I don't want to look at it." Okay, it's this.
It'd be
I
2
feel
in
like
the afternoon.
that's a fair point. That's a good call. So yeah, it's that's gonna stick with some people for sure. So it's been an unbelievable visual experience. So the Ribbon Queen issue 8, make sure you get it in trade form, and I'll be talking about it again at length at some point down the line. But that is it from AWA this week. What do we got from Boom?
Okay, I'm going to rip a few of these off here.
Cool.
From Boom, we have Rare Flavors issue 4. That, of course, is written by Ram V. We have MMPR issue 17. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Hell yeah. Oh,
Issue
so good.
117.
The ending is, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Are we doing like some real throwback here? I am so excited. Melissa Flores is killing it.
We have The Expanse, Dragon Tooth issue 9, Slow Burn issue 5. Boom is at it again with their pen and ink series, this time Grimm. Part of the reason why I love Grimm is I love the colors. That's a big draw to me, but I
Yeah.
do like these pen and ink things that they're doing, because it's like a director's cut, so to speak. But
Yeah.
like this is a series, like, I love the fucking colors, and stripping it of that, like, it's not going to take away because the story's great, but like I will say this is one of those instances where it's like I will be missing the colors on on
Yeah.
this one. And then we have Orcs, the Gift issue 3. From Dark Horse, we have Scott Snyder and Dan Panosian's Canary issue 3. So the conclusion to that story that started way back when during Scott-tober, a few years ago at this point now. Jeez. We have Borealis issue 3, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora issue 1. From IDW, we have Star Trek Defiant issue 12, Godzilla War for Humanity issue 4, Star Trek Picard's Academy issue 6, Dungeons and Dragons Saturday Morning Adventures issue 2, Sonic the Hedgehog Fang the Hunter issue 2, and My Little Pony Kentucky Roller Derby issue 2. Violet was helping me. So I want to say this real quick. Swaggins was helping me with the Solicit.
Wow.
So she came down when I was working on it. And so I'd be typing out the title and she would tell me what issue number it is. And when it got to My Little Pony, I say, okay, Kentucky Roller Derby. She goes, what's that? I said, oh, well, it's a play on, there's a horse racing event called the Kentucky Derby. She goes, Kentucky, that doesn't sound right. So she's a little bit too much like her old man, I think.
Wow.
When it
Not a
comes to,
fan of the headlines and the titles. Look at that.
yeah. Apple does not fall far from the tree there. But we have something from Vault Nicholas. What do we have?
Yes, we got The Nasty issue 7 from friend of the show, John Leach, which we talked to him about when we had him on recently. We actually thought we were going to talk a little bit more in detail, but the release of The Nasty was actually a little bit later than we expected. But this is the penultimate issue of this series, and very emotional issue.
Yeah.
And it's obviously John, alongside John is Adam Cahoon, and I'm dying for this 8th issue. I did fall a little bit behind, and then just binge through this to get to issue 7, and it's been a really fun series. In like letting it, like, as it's like had its chance to like stretch its wings and seeing what's going on with Red Ennis and how it's reflecting Graham and everything. Two big things to still be wrapped up. No guarantee of what's to happen with either of those two things, and I'm very excited for this. Like, yeah, we're never trying to rush the series end, but I'm very excited to see how this wraps up.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the madness. Remember, I was like, I need to know how this ends
Hmm.
because you're so invested in it, and I believe this. When we talked, I saw John tweet about this, and then we talked to him about it, where there's a few moments in this, one in particular that gets a little emotional, and John talked about that, how it sort of affected him, and not that it had come from any sort of personal place, but just in the context of the story and the characters that we dealt with, it was both from a writing and an artistic perspective. It was a very uh, very emotional little scene there. That was a great. It was a pivotal point, I should say, for the story and for the issue. So the nasty has been great, and two, like we've talked about it before, and I mentioned this with him, like where some of his other horror books sink. Go back it on Kickstarter if you haven't already. Hotel, Crimson Cage, where he's done a lot of his work with either Alex Cormack or Delabar Talich. There's that horror element is much more visual, right?
Hmm.
And the writing is a bit more eerie and gruesome, whereas the nasty sort of has this, comes from sort of like that, 80s kind of growing up feel to it. There's it's a little lighter at times, but this
Times.
particular issue really kind of gives you some of that nice campy Friday the 13th, Halloween kind of vibes to it, where you get like some of that more just sort of that classic horror movie, um cat and mouse kind of feel to it. So this was an excellent issue. I enjoyed it very much.
I think this will be a great trade for people
Yeah.
to pick up. Like, I really do. I think this is gonna, for the people who like to wait and binge. This is gonna be really a really fun read. And then on top of that, too, Joe, as you're going through it, I'm just thinking like our conversation where you talked about how this is a coming of age story, and people always love to watch stories along those lines. I would love to see this turned into a movie in some capacity. I think it would really fit well in that format. And I think there's a fun story to be told here with on the big screen. Oh, you muted yourself.
Oh Jesus, I was bell checking, and I didn't want all the
Ugh.
snorts and the grunts.
Oh, so thank God.
That happened once. Oh God. But yeah, no, I
Yeah,
fully
was
agree.
that in an interview? I can't remember.
No,
I
no, no,
remember.
no.
Okay,
That was yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh man. Anyways, I'll finish this off here before we get to the first week of March. So we got from Titan, Conan the Barbarian, issue 8, The Savage Sword of Conan, issue 1. From Dynamite, we got Red Sonja, issue 8, Negaduck, issue 4, Fire and Ice, Tigra, issue 1, The Wheel of Time, The Great Hunt, issue 4. And then from Mad Cave, we got Eden Frost, issue 3, and Charred Remains, issue 3, which I have been reading that series. Well, by the way, on a quick note with Alex Cormack and John Lees, if you wonder how good Alex Cormack's series, the Devil That Wears My Face, is at over at Mad Cave, if you wonder how good it is, John Lees was like, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, wasn't he like a little jealous that Alex was like working on this story? Like, I'm not, forget the Rich Duick stuff. Like, he really liked this series.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does not like Alex Cormack working with other writers.
Yeah.
Uh, that was we had a lot of fun with that show. It was great having them on. And we've had John on several times, but having Alex on for the first time, that was great. Funny dude, funny, talented dude.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get to the first week of March. We always start our releases with Marvel. Joe, take it away.
Okay, so for the week of March 6th, 2024, the year of our Lord, from Marvel. Surprisingly, not a high volume week, a bunch of number ones, but not a high volume week. We have X-Men 32, Venom issue 31, The Avengers issue 11, As I say that, I'm like, oh shit, maybe there's more books here than I realized. Star Wars 44, Doctor Strange issue 13, Captain America issue 7, the Sensational She-Hulk issue. Yeah, disregard everything I said. This is a fucking long week for Marvel. She-Hulk issue 6, Daredevil Gang War issue 4, Thanos issue 4, Star Wars the High Republic issue 4, the Sentry issue 4, and then we have a bunch of number ones here. And I'm not going to read synopsis for all of these, but we will give you the creative team behind them. We have Ultimate X-Men issue 1. So Marvel's been doing this whole Ultimate series,
Yeah.
which I didn't read. I've only read the Spider-Man one,
Did you read the
which is
second one? Because I know we got the Marvel copies late. Um,
oh yeah, excellent.
yeah.
Excellent.
So that's one you forgot to list
Oh,
off.
yeah. I did forget to mention that. Excellent stuff.
Nice.
But Ultimate X-Men issue 1, this is written and drawn by Peach Momoko.
Interesting.
We have the Spectacular Spider-Man issue 1, written by Greg Weisman with art by Humberto Ramos.
Nice.
We have Aliens What If issue 1, written by Hans Radnoff with art by Adam Goldberg. Giant-sized Spider-Gwen. This is written by friend of the show, Melissa Flores, with art by Alba Glass.
Nice.
Swinging from the pages of Spider-Gwen Smash, Gwen Stacy has finally found some balance in her home dimension. But when the remnants of Carnage symbiote resurface in Gwen's bandmate Mary Jane, they attract the attention of something sinister. So Melissa Flores, she's going to have great command of this character. I feel like this is a character that is perfect for
Yeah.
her.
I was gonna
And
say, is this a Violet pickup? But then you started bringing in Carnage to the mix. It's like,
yeah,
maybe
no,
not.
yeah, no,
Not
no.
Carnage.
But Melissa's gonna knock it out of the park with this series, so very
Mhm.
excited about that. We have Weapon X-Men issue 1, written by Christos Gage with art by Yildiray Sinar. We have Miss Marvel Mutant Menace issue 1, written by Sabir Perzada with art by Aman Vellani. And Blood Hunt Diaries issue 0. I hate this. I effing hate issue zeros. Just make it a 1, or don't even title it. Just make it like a preview. But Blood Hunt Diaries issue 0. This is written by Jed McKay with art by Pepe Larez. And this is a crossover event preview, right? So why even number it?
Hmm.
Urgh.
Yeah, I
There
still
we go.
gotta check. I might check this out. Just the Blood Hunt event in general, because McKay is obviously he's on Moon
Apparently
Knight.
it's gonna be massive, it looks like. And I love the idea of this, because it kind of like gets you prepared. So it's not like you get into the event and all of a sudden it's like, you're gonna be able to know sort of right away what you're getting into with this. But like, yeah, just that's just a B thing.
No. But let me ask you this: would you rather have a Blood Hunt Diaries 0 or Blood Hunt Diaries Alpha? What would you prefer?
Oh, I hate both, to be
Mm.
honest with
I
you.
take 0 over Alpha,
Yeah, I would take 0 over Alpha.
but
But
I don't know. I don't have a resolution for
just
this.
do
So.
Blood Hunt Diaries preview. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know. There's got to be something else. But on the quick note of Miss Marvel, Mutant Menace, Iman Vellani is the girl that plays um, Miss Marvel now. So she was writing some stuff
Oh, right.
previously, so she's like continuing to do work on that. So I feel like that character something you might want to check out. From DC, we got Batman 145, which is we're back to Batman stories, no
Hmm.
longer Joker. Was it year one, right?
Yeah.
Poison Ivy issue 20, Birds of Prey issue 7, which I've been hearing some good things about, Shazam issue 9, Blue Beetle issue 7, Kneel Before Zod issue 3, Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum issue 2, Superman issue I'm sorry, I always do this with Superman and Batman when it's the 78 and 89. Superman 78, The Metal Curtain issue 5. That's what I get for saying his name like that. Batman Scooby Doo
Told you.
Mysteries issue 3. And then the one first issue that we have is from Dan Jurgens and Mike Perkins, and that's The Batman First Night. This is a retell of one of Batman's most infamous cases, through an acutely modern lens. Okay, what do we got
Yeah.
from Image?
From Image, Light Week from Image, we have Gunslinger Spawn issue 29, King Spawn issue 31, Void Rivals issue 7, Love Everlasting issue 13, a book I am really looking forward to. Here's Crave issue 4,
Oh yeah.
and then Kaya issue 16, and then we have a number 1, The Last Mermaid. This is written and drawn by Derek Kirk Kim. A lone mermaid roams an endless wasteland on a quest beyond reason.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Image. I'm not familiar with Derek Kirk Kim's work, but something worth checking out.
Yeah. And then also printing through Image, we got Skybound: The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 84. Then from Boom, we got Ranger Academy issue 5, Pine and Merrimack issue 3. If you've been sleeping on this series, wake the fuck up. Then we got Under Heist issue 2. I'll just take us through the rest of these, Joe, so you can
Yeah.
catch your breath. So Dark
Thank
Horse,
you.
we got subgenre issue 4, which you started reading that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you like it so far?
I love it, and if you recall, I undibsed it because I wanted you to read it. Because I don't know how I could discuss this book on the show because
That's what it was.
it's a little too complicated for my simple brain.
Okay, so yeah, I definitely because I wanted to check this out and I thought I was gonna. I just for some reason that's one that kind of kept slipping past me. Okay, cool. Time Traveler's Tales issue 4, IDW. We got TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures issue 11, and then TMNT The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution issue 1 from Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman, artists Ben Bishop, Esau Escorza, and Isaac Escorza. And then from AWA, we got Red Light issue 3. Vault, we got Beyond Real issue 2. From Top Cow, we got Antarctica issue 9, which is a book that Joe, are you going to talk about on here at some point?
Yeah, that Red Light. Now I undibs Beyond Real too because we could both read that one.
Yes. No, but Antarctica, are you going to talk
Yes.
about that? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice. And then to round things out, a book that I'm going to talk about on this show, The Devil That Wears My Face, issue 5, which again is another one Joe's going to have to read at night. But you're not going to have to worry about that. On the week of the 13th, what do we got from Marvel for that week?
That is Doc's 42nd birthday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
On a new comic book day, baby.
Hell yeah.
So Marvel's back on the if you thought last week was long, oh boy. Okay, so for the March 13th, new comic book day from Marvel, we have the Amazing Spider-Man issue 45, Wolverine issue 45, the Immortal Thor issue 8, Darth Vader issue 44, Ultimate Black Panther issue 2, Avengers Twilight issue 4, Fall of the House of X issue 3, Dead X-Men issue 3, Carnage issue 5, Spider-Gwen Smash issue 4, Mace Windu issue 2, What If Venom issue 2, Alien Black, White, and Blood issue 2, Power Back into the Storm issue 3, and then we have a couple number ones because it wouldn't be Marvel without 1,000 number ones. We have Symbiote Spider-Man issue 20. Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 issue 1,
Gotcha.
written by Peter David and with art by Raj Antonio. We have Black Widow and Hawkeye issue 1. This is written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Paolo Villanelli. Big fan of Stephanie Phillips, so this is definitely one worth checking out for show. But I think one that we're both extremely giddy for, and that's Ghost Rider Final Vengeance issue 1. This, of course, written by Benjamin Percy with art by Danny Kim. Who is the new spirit of vengeance? Johnny Blaze was bonded with the spirit of vengeance. Unwilling to be a monster, Johnny used this demon from hell to do good as the Ghost Rider, but heroism isn't what the writer was meant for. So who will be the new spirit of vengeance, and what will it mean for the Marvel Universe?
Yeah. And
I mean, is it going to be War Road?
yeah, I would think so. Natalia Warroad.
Yes, Natalia. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's my gut. That's my gut.
I would think so. And also, like, when it comes to like this is like a big change. This is a big deal. And obviously, we've seen other Ghost Riders over the years. Johnny Blaze is not the only Ghost Rider. Robbie Reyes is the most well known. Otherwise, obviously, Danny Ketch, who we saw pop up recently as well. But like, if there's anybody that I want handling this kind of thing with a Ghost Rider, or like just the characters that he knows and gets assigned to. It's Benjamin Person. He because he cares so deeply about these characters, and we talked to him about Ghost Rider when he first began that series, and it's just like I've always liked Ghost Rider. Thought he was cool. I didn't like read a ton of Ghost Rider stuff, but his look, obviously, how do you not appreciate that look, especially if you're like a rock fan in any capacity? But man, that guy fucking loves Ghost Rider, and he has just done so well with the character. So I'm excited to see what he does here.
Yeah, yeah. His handling of Wolverine, his handling of Ghost Rider. You know, you can put him up there with Chip's handling of Daredevil and Tom Taylor's handling of Nightwing,
I
and
think that's fair. I
right,
really
it's
do.
been excellent. It
Yeah,
really has been, excellent. So,
yeah.
I think Natalia Warwick would be a great Ghost Rider, and it would be fun to see a female character take on that role and
Hmm.
see what Ben does with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, awesome stuff.
From DC on Doc's birthday, we got Action Comics 1063, Batman and Robin issue 7, Green Lantern issue 9, Wesley Dodds, The Sandman issue 6, Red Hood, The Hill issue 2, Outsiders issue 5, Speed Force issue 5, Fables issue 162, Sinister Sons issue 2, Looney Tunes 277, and then we got Suicide Squad Dream Team issue 1 by Nicole Maines and Eddie Barrows, and Batman Dylan Dog issue 1 by Roberto Riccioni and Werther Della. I don't know who the hell Dylan Dog is.
No idea.
All right,
But whether Delada, the art's gonna be good at the very least.
there's that.
From Image, what a week from Image. Holy cow. We have Fish Flies, issue 5. No One, issue 8. I Hate Fairyland, issue 12. Dark Ride, issue 11. The One Hand, issue 2. Knights, issue 6. Petrolhead, issue 5. Our Bones Dust, issue 4. Adventure Man, Ghost Lights, issue 2. The Weatherman, issue 3. The Cabinet, issue 2. And then we have a number 1, Nick, here is Napalm Lullaby, written by Rick Remender with art by Bengal. What does that next line say?
Dibs called by Doc on February 25th, 2024 at 4:11 p.m. Eastern time?
Um, yeah, sure.
I'm kidding.
EST. A child with unimaginable power is raised to believe he is God by a cult of zealots. Utterly confident in the moral authority of their religion, the magnificent leader has imposed his will on humanity and created the ultimate theocracy. Join them or be cast out to suffer with the masses.
I've known about this title for a while and I never checked the synopsis. I was just like, recommender. Okay, I'm going to be checking it out. And I should have fucking looked at the synopsis because, like, I would have called dibs on that so goddamn fast. Nice
See that?
job.
I'm doing the Millhouse eyebrow raise. For those
Yeah.
listening. Yeah.
Goddamn. Well done, sir. Well done. Real quick note before I move on to other companies. I Hate Fairyland issue 12. So, like as I mentioned when I talked about I Hate Fairyland, the original story a little while back, I've started on the second one, and it is. I mean, look, it's Scott Young's story. He knows the character. He knows the world. He's going to kill it. But man, like I have been blown away by this second story too.
Yeah, I love for people watching right now, your screen froze and you've got the dumbest look on your face. It's fantastic.
Well, you're going to do everybody a favor so I can unfreeze myself. You're going to keep taking us through all the titles in the week of your birthday.
Okay, here we go. Nick's got to fix his internet. Maybe pay your bills. From Skybound, an Image imprint, we have Transformers issue 6. Wow, that just zoomed in on my face. From Boom, we have House of Slaughter issue 21. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Return issue 2. Zawa in the Belly of the Beast issue 5. Firefly, The Fall Guys issue 6. Abbott 1979 issue 5. And then we have a number 1 from Boom. I Hate Skull Crusher issue 1, written by Josie Campbell with art by Alysso Zano. From A Dark Horse, we have Star Wars The High Republic Adventures issue 4. Blue Book 1947 issue 2. This, of course, is written by James Tynan. This is the second part, or this is a new Alien story. Blue Book, which came out a little while ago, was excellent. So this is another sort of Alien adventure for the people. We have The Assassin's Apprentice 2, issue 4. And then a couple of number ones. We have Helen of Windhorn, issue 1. This is written by Tom King with art by Billiquist Everly. And we have John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, Rise of the Sludge God, issue 1. This is written by Michael Morici with art by Alberto Jimenez Albuquerque. We back, Nicholas?
I am back. It took me a minute to get there,
Paid your
but
bills?
I did. Yes, it's
Okay,
this
good.
infernal computer. But what title? What company were you on?
Start with IDW, my friend.
IDW. All right, nice. I wasn't on that long. TMNT 149, Dark Spaces Dungeon issue 4, Star Trek Sons of Star Trek issue 1. That is by Morgan Hampton and Miguel Angel Hernandez. And then we got a little first issue from AWA that I've already gotten to take a look at, and I am very excited about it. But I will remind you guys of this title, of course, The Little Black Book, issue 1, that I have dibs on, by Jeff McCumsey. Felipe Coiña, as Joe has enlightened me, is how you pronounce his name. And then apologies for that, Felipe, previously. And Marco Lesko, who we've talked about his work on colors quite a bit. I'm trying to recall where else we've seen him besides AWA, but I mean, hell, man, the work he does with AWA is outstanding.
One of the best colorists, period.
100%. And then we got the synopsis for Little Black Book issue 1, which Axel Alonso told us about on the show a little while back. Cole, a straight arrow handyman, finds himself in the crosshairs of a ruthless crime syndicate along with his pregnant wife. But what is the meaning of the Little Black Book of underworld contacts Cole's deceased father had hidden in his home? Cole's deceased father believed the best thing he could do for his son was to stay out of his life. But does that apply? Does the apple fall far from the tree? I was like, apple? Why the fuck did I say apple? But yeah, so the first issue was outstanding. Make sure you guys pick this up. I hope you added it to your pull list if you didn't get to the comic shop the day this comes out on Joe's birthday, and pick that shit up right away.
Yeah. What a happy birthday to me, fucking dick.
Oh man! All right, I'll take us through these since you were taking care of me while I was out. From Vault, we got End After End issue 9, Mad Cave: A Legacy of Violence issue 11, Skeeters issue 4, Titan Blade Runner 2039 issue 11, Rebel Moon: The House of Blood Axe issue 3. From Ablaze, we got The Agent issue 4 and The Prism issue 6. Dynamite, we got Thundercats issue 2. How was the first issue?
Fantastic.
Nice.
So I've gone back and I've started like rewatching the cartoon because it's on the Hulu. And the first episode and the first issue, very similar. Declan Shalvey, who's writing it, has made a couple little tweaks to modernize it a little bit, but very similar. So like I said in my stack video when the first issue came out, old fans of Thundercats will recognize it and appreciate it. New readers and people that are new to Thundercats in general, not knowing anything about it, I think will enjoy it very much.
That's all you can ask for. I mean, that's a lot to ask for, but that is all you can ask for sure. Also from Dynamite on the week of the 13th, we got King Kong, the Great War issue 5. Everybody's got their hands on King Kong, it seems like. Then from Source Point Press, we got the Seance Room, Harry's Opus issue 1 by Ben Templesmith, which then brings us, Joe, to the week of the 20th.
All right. So March 20th, 2024 from Marvel. Let's see if I can do this all in one breath.
Oh God.
Okay.
Not out. I'm
not.
Okay, yeah. But if you pass out, like I'm not liable for anything.
Just pick up the slack. We have. There's no way I can do this. Fantastic Four issue 18, Invincible Iron Man issue 16, Vengeance of the Moon Knight. I can't do it. Vengeance of the Moon Knight issue 3, Resurrection of Magneto issue 3. I just got overwhelmed looking at it. So no,
it's too many. It's too many like 4-word titles. If you had like Blade and some of these other ones in here, you could have done it.
Right. We have Blade issue 9, Spider-Boy issue 5, Black Panther issue 10, Spider-Woman issue 5, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver issue 2, Star Wars The High Republic issue 5, Captain Marvel issue 6, Star Wars Thrawn Alliances issue 3, Wolverine Madripoor Knights issue 2, Night Thrashers issue 2, Beware the Planet of the Apes issue 3, And then we have a slew of number ones here. I'll rip through a bunch of these real quick. We have X-Men Forever issue 1, written by Kieran Gillen with art by Luca Maresca, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We have Web of Spider-Man issue 1, written and drawn by various. This seems 2024 is prime for one of the biggest years in Spider history. This is probably a bunch of little stories getting us set up for another major event.
Hmm.
We have Star Wars Jango Fett issue 1. This is written by Ethan Sachs
Yeah.
with art by Luke Ross. I'm excited about Ethan Sachs because I just finished A Haunted Girl, which I will be talking about on the show when we get back to main lines. And that, of course, was written by Ethan Sachs and his daughter, Naomi. Excellent. It was my first book that I can recall being written by Ethan Sachs.
Hmm.
Loved his writing style. So this will be, him dipping into the Star Wars universe. Should be something else. And then we have Star Wars Visions, Takeshi Okazaka, issue 1. This is, of course, written by and drawn by Takeshi Okazaka. He did a Visions book,
Yes.
like
That's,
sometime last year. That was
yes.
excellent.
Yes, he's the guy that's why like I highlighted this
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like this is the guy who does the Ronin. So that's
yeah,
from the Visions show, and like when I read that, I was like, we need more of this character. Like I don't,
yeah.
he looks so cool, and I feel like there's just this is the kind of shit when I talk about what I want to see from Star Wars. This is why I took so much to Balin Skull, and there's these like characters that are like they're not good guys, but are they bad guys? Like, it's like this gray area, and I think that's a really cool area that's only been touched so much when it comes to Star Wars. Ahsoka, like that show in general, definitely touches that realm, and I'm really like grateful for that. But I would love to see more of those characters, and that's why like I'm happy for Ethan Sachs doing Jango Fett, but I'm also like why are we doing Jango Fett stories? Like, we're kind of. I liked Jango Fett kind of, but he was like he didn't really do much with him. Why? I want to see more of the Ronin. I want to see like I didn't watch as much of Visions, but it's like if you watch if there's other cool characters in there that people took to, why not delve into some of those or some of the other characters that people liked from past video games? I've said that many a time. I
The Old
just
Republic. Give me an Old Republic story,
that's what I'm saying. Like
right?
we get some of that stuff, but it's not as like it's not edgy. And I get like I believe me, I understand you want to have stuff that's for kids with Star Wars. I get that, but as we like when we talk about this Wolverine stuff, I hope it's killing it in sales. And same with Ghost Rider because those are definitely more adult books with some of these characters and these characters who we haven't seen on the big screen. You kind of have room to get creative with that shit. So I'll be picking this up, and I want more of the Ronin. I'm gonna definitely be checking it out. But yeah, it's for me like that's I absolutely have to pick that up, even if it's
Well,
just a one shot.
that's the beauty and the curse of Star Wars, right? Is that it's always sort of been this thing, but it's really become this massive machine. And the beauty of Star Wars is that there is this entire world, this lore that spans a huge timeline that you can explore, right? And
Mhm.
delve into, and you can make up characters, you can take obscure characters and you can explore them and sort of go in any direction you want. There's more than enough to satisfy having properties that are more geared towards kids and then having those that are more geared towards adults. There's nothing
Sure.
that says you can't have both. Not like you don't have to have something that has to be for everyone, right?
Right.
Because there's more than enough there to satisfy sort of both age ranges, right? The curse of Star Wars is twofold. One is that you have those that say that just want canon stuff, right? They
Right.
just want Skywalker stuff. They just want what they know, right? And that can be infuriating because there's so much there to explore, right? You can slap Star Wars on it and explore all these different avenues, but like people like get all bent out of shape if it's not a Skywalker saga or something like that.
Hmm.
Also, the other curse is that like not not everyone is um like we've gotten some cool Star Wars stuff that that has sort of veered off, like the Mandalorian, right? Like that was sort of like didn't see it coming, didn't know we wanted it. Season 1 kicked ass, and that's by and large been a great property.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had people come in and do Solo and
mm-hmm.
the Obi-Wan stuff, and if just like miss the mark, right? And that can disenfranchise at times. Disenfranchised me a little bit, right? But we got Ahsoka that came out and was fucking awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's about finding, no pun intended, that balance, right? Of exploring something new and having the right people take on the project. Because
Yeah.
when you miss the mark on the character and you miss the mark on the creative team, then it just sours. So like that's the beauty and the curse, is that we have such high expectations, and sometimes we have tunnel vision at the same time, and it's hard to like deviating from that being solely satisfied. So that's why this vision stuff is great. Takeshi Okazaki is a brilliant and gorgeous artist. So when you see his stuff, like it's apropos that he's doing a series or book titled Visions, because his artistic vision for these things is just extraordinary. It really is.
I really wish that they'd use like Star Wars, however you want to put it, Disney, that would use the comics arm as like a testing ground for more and more stuff. Because I understand that these other like shows or movies maybe can return, although with Disney Plus, with the amount of money that they've supposedly lost, like maybe the shows aren't as profitable. But with the comics, it's like this is where people expect you to take some swings, to try different stuff. We don't need retread. We don't need to be circling back to these established characters. Some people will want that, and there's definitely some room for that. But we also, like, we're here for some new shit. Like
Mm.
that's so I would love to see them take some swings, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that front. Anyways, moving on to DC, we got Nightwing issue 112 as we close in on the final arc that'll begin of Tom
Yep.
Taylor's run, which will begin on issue 114. We got Batman, Superman, World's Finest, issue 25. Superman issue 12. Titans, issue 9. Wonder Woman, issue 7. Justice Society of America, issue 9. Catwoman, issue 63. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, issue 6. Green Lantern, War Journal, issue 7. John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America, issue 3. Batman 89, Echoes, issue 2. And then the one first issue we got from DC on the week of the 20th is DC's April special, issue 1, and that's APE RIL, written by John Layman with art by Carl Mozart.
All
But
right.
yeah, so there we
Yeah.
go.
There we go. So from Image, we have Spawn issue 351, Cobra Commander issue 2. I did something fucking stupid, Nicholas. I went to go buy Cobra Commander issue 2, and I fucking hate this. I was like, oh, this is a badass cover. Let me grab this. It was a badass cover, but it was a second printing of issue 1.
Oh, nuts.
So I had to go. I just went and bought issue 2 digitally, but I was like, fucking Christ. We have the Scorched issue 27, the Bone Orchard Mythos Tenement issue 10, Something Epic issue 8, the Holy Rollers issue 5, Kill Your Darlings issue 7, the penultimate issue. Whew. Right, that's 8 issues, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Pure Evil, as you would say it, issue
Look at
5.
you.
Yeah, I know. I fucking hate kick my own ass. The Infernals, issue 2. Can't wait
Yes.
for that one. Midlife or Howdy Hero at 50, issue 6. Again, tighten that fucking title up, will you? The Bloody Dozen, A Tale of the Shrouded College, issue 4. That's been a great series. Dutch, issue 2. And then from Skybound, the imprint of Image, we have The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue 85. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, issue 305.
From Boom, we got Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue 13. The Displaced, issue 2. And you know what? For those who are followers of us on Instagram at TLDR_pod, you don't have to wait to see the first few pages of the Displaced issue 2. We actually shared those over on our Instagram page. Boom sent us those first few pages. So make sure you go check that out if you've been itching for some more of the Displaced. We also got Lotus Land, issue 5. And then first issues, we got Dune, House Corino, issue 1, written by Kevin J. Anderson and Brian Herbert, with art by Simone Ragazzoni. Are you going to be checking this out? Because you've been reading all the Dune stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. These are
Nice.
great. These are great, um, great companion pieces to the Dune universe.
Nice. And then we got a first issue that I'm at least interested in. I'm kind of curious if you are too. Man's Best issue 1, written by Pornsak Pashodi, with art by Jesse Longren. Of course, Pashodi is the writer of The Good Asian. Man's Best, homeward bound on an alien world. Man's Best follows 3 emotional support pets living on the Starship Horizon, a spacecraft searching for a new home to house a humanity compromised by bad decisions and corporate greed. I just kind of find that, like, so first of all, Pashodi's a good writer. We're familiar with his work, so I'm interested, anyways. And then we're seeing a lot more like animal driven stories. So I'm like just generally interested in that. And then it's like these are emotional support pets. So
Yeah,
I'm just kind of like, what are we
yeah,
doing here? I kind of want to see how weird this is going to get and check it out.
yeah. Pornchak Pashad is a great writer, and Stray Dogs, which I read by Tony Fleeks, and then we both read Animal Castle. Like these books can be hit or miss, man, because it's like, again, I'm also reading Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, where it's like a
Yeah,
Berenstain Bears type book. So it's like,
sounds like
you
more
know,
hits than misses. Just saying.
I know, right?
I
And
gotta read Stray Dogs myself too.
which is wild because again, these are not typically books I think either of us would gravitate towards.
No.
But they're all great writers, so they make them, like very engaging and wanting to check them out. So um, that is definitely one worth checking out just on the creative team alone.
Yeah.
From A Dark Horse, we have If You Find This, I'm Already Dead, issue 2, which I believe you are reading.
Yes, sir.
And we have Stranger Things, The Voyage, issue 4. And then we have a number 1, which I believe I called dibs on.
You did.
This is Dawn Runner, issue 1. This is written by Ram V with art by Evan Cagle.
I'm
Uh,
pissed you called dibs on this one. I
yeah,
don't. I just yeah.
it's like, because you've done this too. Like you got to be on Twitter at the right time because both of us miss things, or one of us, so it's like just happened to be on at the right time. I saw this and I didn't fucking hesitate. A century ago, a portal opened over Central America, and the Tetza that came through changed our world. Now the world bends as its efforts to making the Iron King's great mechs that must battle the Tetza for humanity's continued survival in gladiatorial combat. Yeah, I'm in. I mean, I know we've talked about like this is the same thing we just talked about with the animals, right? Like we've said in the past, like Rom V, it's like it can be very hit or miss. Well, you know what? Maybe it's just one miss in a whole bunch of fucking hits for
Yeah.
Rom V, if we're being
Yeah.
honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that was at a time when he only had a few sort of titles in his catalog. Now his catalog is ever growing, and for good reason. He's fucking killing it. So I can't wait to check this one out.
Yeah, this one sounds like it's going to be a fun time. All right, I'll finish us off here before we get to the week of the 27th. From IDW, you mentioned it, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, issue 4, which could sneak up and be the surprise book of the year. Star Trek, issue 18. Dungeons and Dragons, Fortune Finder, issue 5. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan, issue 1. My Little Pony, Main Event, issue 1. And then from AWA, we got a book that you called dibs on, You and I, issue 2. Titan, Life is Strange, Forget Me Not, issue 2. And Blitmap, issue 4. Ablaze, we got Almost Dead, issue 2. And supposedly The Agent, issue 5 as well. I mean, we said The Agent, issue 4 is coming out earlier in the month. So take that one with a grain of salt. And then Dynamite, we got Gargoyles, issue 12. Lilo and Stitch, issue 2. Fire and Ice, issue 4. James Bond 007, issue 3. That is the Garth Ennis, his run on the character. Army of Darkness Forever, issue 6. Vampirella, issue 667. Savage Red Sonja, issue 5. Darkwing Duck, Justice Ducks, issue 4. Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft, issue 2. And then from Comixology, we got Buy a Thread, issue 4.
So now we are into the last week of March, the 27th, if you will. So the disclaimer I will put here is any book we mention here outside of Marvel and DC, um, there could be some maneuvering with dates here. So
How did you Marvel and who?
I don't know what
You
I
just
say.
said it with the inflection that I
Oh,
just did.
DC?
Yeah, is that on purpose?
Yeah, probably, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't.
I,
It seems like you're doing it on
Marvel to
accident
see,
now.
right?
It's like
Yeah, maybe.
natural. It's coming out.
It's just so March 27, 2024. Before Nick rudely interrupted me, we have
Pardon me.
Ultimate Spider-Man issue 3, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 46, Wolverine issue 46,
Yeah.
X-Force issue 50, Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 18, Daredevil issue 7, The Incredible Hulk issue 10, Gods issue 6, Rise of the Powers of X issue 3, Superior Spider-Man issue 5, Edge of the Spider-Verse issue 2, Cable, I wanted to say Cabal, but no. Cable issue 3, Thunderbolts issue 4, Spider-Punk Arms Race issue 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi issue 6, Predator The Last Hunt issue 2. And then we have Jackpot and the Black Cat issue 1. This is written by Celeste Bronfman with art by Emilio Laso. And then we have X-Men 97 issue 1 written by Steve Fox with art by Salvador Espin.
So of course we're getting X-Men 97 because the show's coming out. We obviously all see everybody's seen the trailer. It's the most viewed trailer I think. And
Yeah, and they nerfed Rogue's dumper, man.
okay. Anyways, so
Not a great start. Just saying.
Okay. Okay. You've said too much, so I'm gonna have to say something now. That is one image from the entire show that happened.
Not great, Bob.
Someone's already shown other art from. No. I'm saying the image you're referring to is one image from the original X-Men run. If you look back, there's plenty of times where what didn't look like that. What we're seeing now, that's not they're not nerfing it. They're just doing what they did previously.
Nerfed.
Just and also it's animated, so take it easy. Anyways, so getting this companion story, I'm very excited about in general. Obviously, it makes sense where we're getting it, all that. But then I mentioned a while back, Steve Fox. Joe and I have talked about him recently. You talked about him for All Eight Eyes from Dark Horse. I talked about him for Dark X-Men right before that. So seeing him get this title handed to him further proves the amount of trust that Marvel has in him, and further proves that how we're onto something. This guy is absolutely crushing it. So been loving. So I'm really excited about that. This is the official prelude to the hotly anticipated Disney Plus show. The X-Men are back, and the 90s have never looked better. This is the official prelude. Okay, that is a repeat in there. But anyways, you guys get it. It's the prelude to the show, so it's something you're going to want to check out. From DC, we got Detective Comics 1083, Green Arrow issue 10, The Flash issue 7, Harley Quinn 38, Batman the Brave and the Bold issue 11, The Penguin issue 8, Alan Scott the Green Lantern issue 5, Power Girl issue 7, Amazon's Attack issue 6. Then we have two number ones, Batman Dark Age issue 1 by Mark Russell, who we've had on the show previously, and art by Michael Allred. And then we have Primer issue 1 by Jennifer Murrow and Gretel Lusky.
Why the question mark after Jennifer Murrow?
That would be a typo.
Not sure she's going to write it?
That is a typo. But thankfully I wrote it, so I knew it was there.
Yeah.
Jennifer Murrow?
Murrow? So, what a stacked fucking week from Image we're getting the last week of March here. Spawn issue 352, Radiant Black. Now, is this 29 or is this 29 and 29 and a half?
29 and 29 and a half. That's why I have them both right next to each other.
Why would you do just?
Because I didn't. Because you need both there. Because I'm.
Yeah, but you could have done this, Nicholas. Right? I'm gonna make this right. You do this. Bang. Right?
You didn't do that before. You just wrote one number down. So I wrote both.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because I knew.
How about this? Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Nicholas? Know your audience.
What's my audience? What are you talking about?
I read Image. You should know me by now.
That. Oh, okay, that. Okay, gotcha. You were talking about my swearing. I was like, you started us off with this.
Listen, let's fake news, okay? King Spawn issue 32, Monstrous issue 50, Ice Cream Man, The Ice Cream Man, issue 39. The Scorched, issue 28. What's the Furthest Place from Here, issue 18.
Good question.
Newburn, issue 16. Oof.
Mm,
Philadelphia, issue 34. Moon Man, issue 2. The Dead Lucky, issue 12. The Six Fingers, issue 2. Hack Slash Back to School, issue 4. Savage Dragon, issue 269. And Star Signs, issue 9. And then, man, we have some number ones from Image this week.
yeah.
We have Under York, issue 1, written by Sylvain Runberg with art by Mirka and Dolfo.
Very interested by that. Like, that's we're not digging into it. If Mirka Andolfo, who's like dipping her toes into doing more writing and everything, she's going and drawing this title. There's got to be a like that's to me that's just a good sign. Like if she's
Yeah.
taking this on.
Yeah. So that should be definitely worth checking out. We have a Local Man tie-in, Local Man Bad Girls issue 1. This, of course, written and drawn by Tony Fleeks and Tim Seeley. And we have Feral issue 1, written by Tony Fleeks with art by Tone Rodriguez and Trish Forstner. This is the team that brought you Stray Dogs. So this is a new horror. Meet Elsie, Lord Fluffy Britches, and Patch. Three
Wow.
indoor cats lost in a not so great outdoors during a nightmarish rabies outbreak. Without their humans to protect them, the cats rush to find their way home before they're eaten by a forest full of rabid beasts on their tails. Don't get bit, don't get scratched. So loved Stray Dogs. So the fact that they're getting the band back together to tell another story should be excellent. On a side note, Nicholas, on the Tic Tac, I have become obsessed with Stone Cold Steve Austin and his cat Poncho. He's taken
Oh,
Tic Tac by my entire Tic Tac algorithm right now is pizza and Stone Cold and his cat Poncho.
nice.
It's fucking awesome. It's the most adorable thing ever.
Pizza. Interesting.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a Chicago trip coming up, so
Oh, that's true. This is true.
yeah.
And then the last one to round things out, Sam and Twitch Case Files, issue 1, of course, written by Todd McFarlane with art by Simon Kudransky, who we've talked about on the show quite a bit. Your fan favorite detectives are back in their new ongoing series from the world of Spawn. Acclaimed creator Todd McFarlane and artist Simon Kudransky bring you a tale of murder, intrigue, and deception in this noir crime drama. So I'm
In.
interested in checking that
Yeah.
one out. But I will say, of the bunch, Feral is the one that I'm most interested in. I still haven't read Stray Dogs, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and do that before Feral issue 1 comes out, because I praised it, and now they're running it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
And that Sam and Twitch sounds fantastic. From Scabound, we have Duke issue 4. And then why don't you take us through Boom, Nicholas?
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 118, and I alluded to at the end of issue 117, there was like this major development. There's been something kind of brewing, not so much in the background, but you're just seeing some emotions kind of starting to stir. And then it looks like we might get a little throwback moving forward in the series, which I'm very excited about. Again, Melissa's really she knows these characters so well, obviously because of her experience working with the Power Rangers for such a long time. So I'm so excited. It's been a great run. And this looks like we have a great twist coming up. Then we got the Expanse Dragon Tooth issue 10, Berserker Poetry of Madness, Pen and Ink issue 1. I will take care of Dark Horse for us too. The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos issue 8, Black Hammer The End issue 6, Masterpiece issue 4, which I have dibs on, Quick Stops Volume 2 issue 3, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora issue 1, and then for first issues we got Star Wars The High Republic Adventures Crash Landing issue 1 by Daniel Jose Adler and Older, excuse me. And then Rachel Arango, Ghostbusters Back in Town issue 1 by Greg Pak, Dave Ambour, and Blue Delinquan. Does that say Delinquanti? Quanti? Is that how
It looks like Delaquanti.
Delaquanti? There you go. That sounds way better than the way I said it. And then the Goon, Them That Don't Stay Dead, issue 1, written and drawn by Eric Powell.
All right, I'll bring us home, baby. From IDW, we have Star Trek Defiant issue 13, The so excellent The Ministry of Compliance issue 4, Sonic
Okay.
the Hedgehog Fang the Hunter issue 3, Dungeons and Dragons Saturday Morning Adventures issue 3. From Vault, we have The Nasty issue 8. From Titan, we have Conan the Barbarian issue 9. Life is Strange Forget Me Not issue 4. Forgotten Ruins Wizard's Cult issue 3. From Ablaze, we have Traveling to Mars issue 11 and Almost Dead issue 3. And then lastly, from Dynamite, we have Red Sonja issue 9, Negaduck issue 5, Darkwing Duck Justice Ducks issue 3, and Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, The Great Hunt issue 5. Nicholas, that is the month of March.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some number ones that have piqued our interest. There's some series that we love coming to an end. There's some and a whole lot of in between there.
That is very well put. And just a quick reminder for everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to one of our audio channels. That's the only place you can get any previous and upcoming Friar side chats. You never know when the next one's coming your way, because we never know when the next one's fucking coming our way. But Joe, great shit. Until next week, stay sexy.
Yeah, you know it, baby.